Stewart. Batting sixth, designated player number 13, Hannah Wells. Batting seventh, shortstop number 23, Viviana Martinez. Batting eighth at third base number 24, Jason Nichols. Batting ninth in right field number 7, Ashton Maloney. And in the circle for your Texas Longhorns, number 17, Ticket Gavon. The assistant coaches for your Longhorns are County Ruth Taylor, Kristen Zaleski, and Aaron Earlywine. And the head coach for your Longhorns is Mike White.
Yeah, tension is definitely rising. Shoot up right now. T-time like I got a couple of these. T-time like I got a quarter of the six. I let it go regular. Famous, they say on my. Thank you, New Jonas and Johnson. You talk to the conscious and tension.
Second weekend of SEC play. The Texas Longhorns so far have taken 2 from the Ole Miss Rebels, and the Longhorns looking for 1 more to try to finish up a series sweep for the second weekend in a row. Won't be an easy task. They're taking on this Ole Miss team that won the Women's College World Series last year. Rolling a pitcher who shut down the Longhorns for the most part on Friday. Good afternoon from Red and Charlene McCombs Field. I'm Andrew Haynes. The Texas Longhorns, number 3 in the country in the major polls, number 2 for D1 softball, have a chance potentially to move up to number 1 if they're able to come through with the sweep today after the teams above them both lost this weekend. Tegan Gavon getting ready to start this game for Texas. Left-hander Taylor Malvin in the box from the left side. Gavon towing the rubber. 6-foot-tall right-hander winds and deals the first pitch at 12:02 on the outside corner for a called strike. We're underway. Strike 1 on Malvin. Malvin, Mackenzie Pickens, Percy Yamas due up against Gavon. Infield, a couple of steps in all the way around. Tegan's 0-1. Low and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. 79 degrees at first pitch. Sunny skies, very little clouds. What is expected to be a very warm day, especially for March here in Austin. 1 ball, 1 strike on Malvin, hitting .337, 3 doubles, 13 RBI. Gavon misses up and away, 2 balls and a strike. Tegan making her 11th start, 14th appearance, 10-0 with a 1.86 ERA. 64 innings, 48 hits, a .203 opponent's average, 18 walks, and she has struck out 85. 2 balls and a strike. Slapped foul. We're in front of the third base dugout, kicking off the netting of the dugout. Down the left field line, Kaya Altmaier goes over, picks it up. And the count now 2-2 on Malvin. Gavon last year 28-5 with a .216 ERA in 207 innings. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Just off the outside. Ball 3, pretty close to the pitch that was called strike 1 to open it. This time it missed, according to plate umpire Mark Brown. So the count full on Malvin to open things up. Gavon, the payoff pitch. Ringer up, a called strike 3 as she comes back and finds the corner. Out number 1, Gavon starting where she left off back on Friday. She struck out 12 on Friday of the Rebels. Pitched a complete game, allowed just 1 run. Mackenzie Pickens provided that 1 run on Friday with a solo home run in the 6th inning. She waves and misses the first Gavon pitch here in the first inning. 0-1 the count on Pickens. Gavon on Friday, 4 hits, 1 walk, 1 run, complete game, 12 Ks. Drop ball in there for a called strike 2. 0-2 the count on Pickens. A .321 hitter with 7 home runs, second on the Rebels in long balls. 5 doubles, 25 RBI, and 28 runs scored, which leads their team. Here's the 0-2. Chopped towards short. Vivian Martinez charges, short hops it, and fires to first in time to get Pickens. That's out number 2. A veteran play for Martinez yesterday on a grounder by Pickens. Martinez's throw was just late to first base as she took too long. So Martinez, knowing Pickens' speed, charged that one instead of waiting back for a better hop, and she's able to make the play on the short hop and fire to get Pickens. 2 down, and the base is empty here in the first. First pitch, line to right field by the left-handed batting Percy Llamas, goes all the way through to the fence. Ashley Maloney comes up throwing just wide of the bag at second base. And Llamas on the first pitch swinging, ropes a double, and she's in scoring position. She wasn't waiting around at all. A little surprised with a left-handed slugger at the plate. The Longhorns were not playing her to pull, really. Leanne Good was at a normal second base position. Often she's pulled over a step or two toward the first base line with a lefty at the plate. And Ashley Maloney was a step or two toward right center. And now Maddie George takes the first pitch high for ball 1. By the way, the Longhorns defensively, Reese Atwood behind the plate. Katie Stewart at first, Leanne Good at second, the shortstop Vivian Martinez, J.C. Nichols at third, Kaya Altmaier, Caden Henry, Ashton Maloney in the outfield from left to right. Here's the 1-0. High and tight, 2-0 on Maddie George. So Kavan, after getting a couple of outs, now dealing with a runner in scoring position. George had a hit against Kavan, opening up the second inning on Friday. Solid single to right. Here's the 2-0, foul back. 2-1 now the count on Maddie George, the leading hitter at .418. Also the leader with 8 home runs, tied for the team lead with 26 RBI for the Ole Miss Rebels. Back in her home area from Leander, in northwest, just outside of Austin. 2-1. Off the outside, ball 3. Cassie Reisner on deck for Ole Miss. Maddie George out of Rouse High School in Leander. 5'9", left-handed batting freshman. 3-1. Wide for ball 4. So a double and a walk allowed by Kavan with 2 out here in the first. Maybe somewhat of pitching around the dangerous George. Cassie Reisner, pretty good hitter, but doesn't quite have the numbers George has. Reisner, the junior, the transfer from Kentucky. 5'10", right-handed batter. Kavan misses up and away with the first pitch. And Reese Atwood will go and talk to the Longhorns' junior pitcher. Nothing across yet, but the Rebels are threatening with 2 on and 2 out here in the top of the first. Reisner, last couple of years with Kentucky. Last year she got a lot of playing time, hit .289, 5 doubles and 10 homers. In the regular season ending series, she played 2 of the 3 games here at McCombs Field. Went 0 for 2 with a strikeout in both of them. Kavan with the 1-0. Misses inside. 2 balls, no strikes on Reisner. Outfield straight up, medium depth, the infield back. Kavan's 2-0. Low and in, ball 3. Teagan struggling to find the zone. A walk to Maddie George. And now missing to a 3-0 count against Reisner. Next pitch, swing and a miss. Reisner with the green light, unable to catch up. Kavan gets a strike, 3-1. A little bit of wind blowing out to center. Teagan with the 3-1 offering. Swing and a miss again. And she's worked it back to a full count. Llamas on second, George on first with 2 out, 3-2 count. They're on the move. As Kevon Diaz. Hot shot to the left side, gloved by J.C. Nichols, who I think thought she caught it out of the air, and she stands up and then throws high to first base and late. Nichols walking toward the dugout, nodding her head that she caught that one. Mike White coming out and saying, hey, I want a replay review on that. Nichols stood up so nonchalantly that it is clear that she thought she caught it. All three umpires are just kind of standing around. Not getting together, discussing it. And apparently there will be no replay review. What in the world? There's no way that that's not reviewable. It's not a fair foul call. White back out of the dugout, trying to talk to Mark Brown. And now the umpires will come together. Nichols went down to a knee to her left and caught it and stood up. Obviously looked around when she didn't hear the out call. And so when she didn't hear that, she belatedly threw to first base, and it was late. And now it looks like
Texas is reviewing, Texas challenging the play of no catch on the infield. That play is under further review.
You know, finally, we're getting a review. I don't know what the delay was there. The umpires think that that wasn't reviewable. There's no way that they thought that. Well, it should be a quick review for the replay center in Birmingham. Assuming there's a camera that is able to get a clear enough view. If the call stands, it'll be bases loaded, 2 out for the Rebels. Playing a slow-mo view on the screen, and Nichols appeared to glove it before it hit the ground, although it kind of disappeared into the glove with the glove somewhat facing the ground. And the angle they're looking at least showing on the screen, is somewhat blocked by the wire that holds up the backstop. Obviously, you'd hope that there are more angles of that play as well, but I don't know for sure. Now throwing some warm-up pitches just to stay warm while this is reviewed by the crew in Birmingham. From Nichols' reaction, she certainly thought that she caught it. The third base umpire, Frederick Ewald, was not really in a position to see whether she caught it or not. And neither of the other umpires were very close to it. And here's the result.
After review, the ruling on the field stands, no catch.
Ouch.
That's Texas's first challenge.
That's a rough one. So it goes as an infield hit for Reisner instead of a line out to end the inning. That's hard to justify. Bases loaded for Ole Miss. And Kennedy Bunker, the left-handed batting senior catcher at the plate. First pitch over the outer half from Kavan. Called strike. Double walk, infield single. Infield back, outfield straight up, medium depth. Strike two on the outside corner above the knees. Bunker, left-handed batter, slightly closed stance. Kavan with the 0-2. Foul back just atop the press box. Oh, 0-2 the count remains on Bunker. The crowd trying to urge Kavan on to get the last out here in the top of the first inning. Teagan, 0-2. Lined up the middle, off of Kavan into center field. It's a base hit, and Ole Miss picks up a run. So Bunker in an 0-2 count, able to just poke it through the middle. And Ole Miss leads 1-0. After a blown call on the field, and now the 0-2. Which has been a bit of an issue for the Longhorns this weekend, allowing hits in 0-2 counts. So now the dangerous Taylor Roman hit a home run yesterday against Cam Salmon. First pitch in the dirt, scooped up by Reese Atwood, ball one. Kavan got a couple of outs to start the game. A strikeout and then a ground out. First pitch double, hit by Percy Yamas, and then she walked Maddie George. 1-0. In on the fist, fouled back by Roman. 1 ball, 1 strike. And then the turning point in this inning, the Reisner line drive to third. Appeared to be caught by J.C. Nichols just above the ground, but none of the umpires on the field saw it that way, and there was not enough evidence to overturn it. 1-1 pitch. Ooh, just off the inside. 2-1. Boy, Roman crowds the plate, and that did not touch her. Hard to imagine that that missed the corner. Plate umpire Mark Brown had given pitches on that side, maybe just off the plate a couple of times already in the inning. Kavan's 2-1. Low and in, ball 3. Atwood calls time. He steps out in front of the plate, says a quick word to Kavan. Three and 1 on the slugging, right-handed batting, Taylor Roman, with 2 out and the bases loaded. The pitch, inside, ball 4, and it walks in a run. That one did appear further off the inside than ball 2. It's now 2-0 Ole Miss. Grace Thompson, the hitter. Getting the start at third base today. Left-handed batter, bases loaded, 2 out. First pitch from Kavan is above the knee, strike 1. Thompson the previous couple of days did not start at third, but she came in when the previous starter, Ryan Starr, when her spot in the order came up, the 0-1. Swinging a foul back and the count 0-2. Thompson played the rest of the game the last couple of days. The Star played defensively the first couple of innings. 0-2 pitch. Ringer up, a called strike 3 to finally end the inning. A couple of questionable calls in the top of the first. Ole Miss scores 2. And the Longhorns trail 2-0 as we go to the home half. Longhorn softball continues in a moment. Yeah. You guys watching it at all? Aycock on Friday pitched very well for the Rebels. Complete game. 6 innings, 6 hits. No walks or strikeouts. Allowed 3 runs. The Longhorns scored all 3 in the first 2 innings. First inning, it was Caden Henry getting things started. Caden singled into left center field. Stole second and scored on a 1-out Kaya Altmaier single. Henry starting things off here, shows bunt on the first pitch. Rise ball with some good velocity. Pitch taken high, and she pulls the bat back. Ball 1. Leanne Good, Kaya Altmaier also due up for Texas. As we play in the bottom of the first inning, 1-0. Aycock misses outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Aycock, the senior right-hander, 6 feet 1 inch tall, from Noonan, Georgia. Played her first 3 years of her career at Oklahoma State. Longhorns saw her once each year her first 2 years. And they were still in the Big 12 with the Cowgirls. Drop ball misses low, 3-0. Aycock, after a very good start to her career in 2023, kind of went downhill with the Cowgirls and has bounced back this year. 8-3 with a 2.79 ERA. 13th start, 16th appearance. 3-0 pitch. Over the outer half. That's called strike 1, the automatic. 57 2/3 innings. 46 hits, just a .210 opponent's average. 26 walks and 30 strikeouts. 3 balls and a strike on Henry. The corner infielders in front of the bags. Aycock to the plate. Way upstairs, ball 4. She issues the walk to Henry, leading things off. Both starting pitchers, vastly different first inning than most of their appearance on Friday. Gavon allowing 2 runs after only 1 on Friday, and Aycock did not walk about her Friday, and she walks the leadoff hitter. Defensively, Ole Miss has Kennedy Bunker behind the plate, Percy Yamas at first base, Mackenzie Pickens, the second baseman, Cassie Reisner at short. Leanne Good stepping in, takes the first pitch, drop ball low and in, ball 1. Grace Thompson at third base for the Rebels. Tenley Grisham in left, Taylor Malvin in center, and the right fielder is Maddie George. Kennedy Bunker, after ball 1 to Good, goes out to talk with Aycock. Longhorns trailing 2-0 here in the bottom of the second. Bottom of the first inning, rather. Here's the 1-0. High strike on Good. 1 ball, 1 strike on the senior out of San Antonio, hitting .483, 5 doubles, 5 homers. 27 runs and 18 RBI. Aycock with a 1-1. At the knees for a called strike 2. Leanne must have thought that was a little low. Angled her head a little bit in frustration after that call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Fly ball right field. Henry was on the move. George goes back, makes a leaping grab. Henry dives back into the bag at first, just ahead of the throw. Ooh. Well, hit well by Good in a 1-2 count. Maddie George able to reach up and glove it. And Henry, at the last moment, recognized that it was going to be a fly out, and she had to get back to the bag. Out number 1, Henry still on first, and here's Kaya Altmaier. Aycock, first pitch. Swing, a foul tip. Foul back to the backstop by Altmaier, the senior transfer from Arizona. Against whom the Rebels have put on an extreme shift the past couple of days with 3 infielders on the right side of the infield. The third baseman almost right next to the circle. Altmaier gets a piece of the next one and fouls it again. And the count 0-2. Texas trailing by 2 in the bottom of the first. Thompson, the third baseman, backs up with 2 strikes. 0-2 pitch. Just got a piece, did Altmaier. It remains no balls and 2 strikes. As Mike White said in the pregame interview, Altmaier, her tendencies this year, pulling the ball on the ground. In the air, it goes the opposite way. So Ole Miss lining it up with 3 on the right side here as the next pitch sails wide. 1-2 on Altmaier. Reese Atwood on deck for Texas. One-two pitch. Foul tipped again. 1-2, the count remains. Aycock deals. Off speed, and Henry on the move, and the ball drops out of the glove of Bunker. Caden slides in without a throw. 17th steal in 18 tries this year. Good take by Altmaier. Just off the outside. So the count now 2-2. Runner in scoring position with 1 out for Texas. More traditional alignment now with a 2-2 count for Ole Miss. 2-2 pitch. Altmaier off the end of the bat, fly ball left field down the line, foul territory, hustling over. Grisham will get underneath it and put it away, and that's out number 2. So Altmaier battled, fouling off a number of pitches, but unable to do anything with it. And there are 2 down here in the first for Reese Atwood. Atwood yesterday seemed to show some pretty good signs of breaking out of a recent slump. Doubled her first at bat, homered her second at bat, a single her third at bat. Fourth at bat did not triple for a cycle, unfortunately. First pitch from Aycock, low and away, ball 1. She did fly out in the final time she stepped up. Runner on second with 2 outs, despite what the scoreboard shows as 3 outs. 1-0. Skied to center, shallow. Reisner, the shortstop, backs up, and it pops out of her glove. Henry scores. The Longhorns are on the board on Reisner's error. Should have been out number 3. Maybe a tough sun. Shortstop Reisner backing up. It kind of looked like the center fielder Melvin tried to call her off. Reisner stopped and the ball just clanked out of the mitt. So Atwood on second on the error. And here is Katie Stewart. First pitch, a breaking ball on the outside corner. Stewart not happy with the call. No RBI for Atwood there. Had it been caught, it would have been out number 3. The run would not have scored. So do not give an RBI. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Stewart having to defend that same spot. That was just called a strike. She swings through it. And the count 0-2. Aycock. 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, skipping away from Bunker. Atwood taking advantage. She moves to third. Ball and 2 strikes now on Stewart. 3 on the left side of the infield for the Rebels against the slugging right-hander Stewart. Outfield straight up, medium depth. 1-2. Foul tipped, just got a piece. Longhorns down 2-1 in the bottom of the first. Potential tying run on third base. Cock calls time to tie her shoe. Stewart leading the Longhorns in home runs with 14, one behind Atwood with 37 RBI. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss on a changeup, and that ends the inning. But the Longhorns get a run on a leadoff walk, stolen base by Henry, and then a dropped pop-up with 2 out. They strand one, and they trail 2-1 as we go to the second. Texas softball continues in a moment.
Welcome community here together with three of recognized Longhorn teams and student athletes for doing good in their community. This season it was each time on the softball heroes. Tourists will donate $100 to the Developing Neighborhood Athletes Fund benefiting these sports. As of today's game,
What flyout do you have?
Raising $4,300 for the Deaner Fund.
About 30 minutes total, the top and bottom. Texas Longhorns trail 2-1 to the Ole Miss Rebels. And Tegan Gavon will face the number 9 hitter, and then the top of the order, Henley Grisham, to lead things off. Grisham against Gavon on Friday. 0 for 1 with a walk. Yesterday, she did not get a chance to swing the bat, despite starting in left field. Infield halfway in for the Longhorns, with the left-handed batter at the plate. First pitch bunted, rolls foul outside the right-handed batter's box, 0-1. On charge with 2 runs in the first. They drew a windup, the 0-1 pitch. Finds the outside corner, called strike 2. Tegan got the first 2 outs. The first one was a full count strikeout, second an 0-2 ground out. But then allowed a sharp, low line drive ground ballish. As this next pitch is swung on, driven to left field by Grisham, and her counterpart Kaya Altmaier, who was playing in and toward the line, has to hustle back and make the catch and straight away right. Something Ashton Maloney often does, trying to punch it over the outfielders. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Grisham attempting it there. She's out number 1, the top of the order now, Taylor Melvin. Showing bunt, and the pitch in the zone for a called strike. Not sure whether she pulled that back or not. The third base coach, the head coach, Jamie Traxel, I think, asking the umpire the same. Was that a call or was that offering at the pitch? Here's the 0-1. Up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike on Melvin. Struck out looking to open the ball game. Slap hitter, 3 doubles, no other extra base hits. Gavon misses low and away, 2-1. The outfield shaded around to left a couple of steps. Altmaier in left, playing shallower than normal. 2-1, bounced down to third, off the glove of the scrambling Nichols. Called a fair ball by Mark Brown, the plate umpire. And Melvin reaches with 1 out. Should go as a hit for Melvin. It does.
But base number 1, Mackenzie Pickens.
If Nichols didn't touch that, it may have been foul. May have gone wide of the bag. Mackenzie Pickens, a hot shot towards short, picked up by Martinez. She flips to good. The turn to first, and they get the quick Pickens for a 6-4-3 double play. The defense helps out Kavan after Nichols was unable to make that play. And just like that, the inning comes to an end. Much, much quicker inning for Teagan. Longhorns down 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the second. Longhorn softball continues in a moment. Yep. Feel free to grab that one. Run because of a dropped pop-up in shallow center field. Hannah Wells, Vivian Martinez, J.C. Nichols due up in the second against the right-hander Kyra Aycock. Ole Miss coming into this weekend had 3 different pitchers who were their main pitchers. Aycock along with Emily Boyer, who started yesterday. As the first pitch to Wells is in the dirt inside ball 1. And also Lily Witten, a transfer from Missouri. Witten, the 3rd most innings on staff, and then 3 other pitchers who all pitched under 10 innings. Going in from Aycock, 2-0 on Wells. Aycock got the start Friday, Boyer yesterday, and Aycock back in the circle today. Infield back, outfield straight up, medium depth, the 2-0 to Wells. Checked her swing as it missed low. 3-0, Hannah with the walk-off 3-run bomb for the run rule victory yesterday. The 6th inning. Against reliever Grayson Jordan. And 2 for 3 with the walk yesterday. 3-0. Aycock takes something off to spin it in the zone for strike 1. Wells up to a 3-0. Well, wait a sec. Illegal pitch, I think. Called a strike, and then the third base umpire Frederick Ewald said that Aycock was doing something incorrect. Jamie Traxel, after going out to ask Ewald, nods her head, walks back to the dugout. So Wells takes the walk as that turns into ball 4. The Longhorns had their leadoff batter on base with a walk for the 2nd straight inning. No hits yet against Aycock. Vivi Martinez now. Up and away, ball 1. Martinez moving down to number 7, as Mike White said in the pregame interview, flipping Wells and Martinez. Wells swinging it pretty well recently. 1-0, a bit high. 2-0 on Vivi. Bibby hitting .327, 5 doubles, 16 runs batted in. We're still kind of waiting for the sweet swinging Martinez of 2023-24 to come around as she takes a strike on the outside corner. Maybe just a factor of trying to get back into the rhythm after missing all of last season with the ACL tear. 2-1 pitch. Way upstairs, Bunker reaches up and gloves it. Park Brown, the plate umpire, immediately exiting the area behind the plate to his left to avoid getting hit by that. 3-1 on Martinez. The pitch. Down the pipe, called strike 2. J.C. Nichols on deck. Aycock's payoff pitch. In tight, maybe a little high, ball 4. And the first 2 Longhorns here in the second draw walks. Nancy Evans, the second-year pitching coach for Ole Miss, calls time. She'll go talk to the transfer Aycock. Aycock, a Big 12 all-freshman team with Oklahoma State in 2023, went 9-2 with a .251 ERA that year. 65 Ks in 95 innings. It's not overly dominant. 264 opponent's batting average. Tall, hard-throwing right-hander. Longhorns beat her in the series here in Austin. But the Longhorns, all the way back to 2017, had a lot of struggles against Oklahoma State, including here in Austin. They'd been swept in Stillwater multiple times. And Oklahoma State had come here to Austin. Texas had won 1 game each time. And then they swept the Cowgirls, including beating Kelly Maxwell. First team All-American. Walk-off 3-run home run by Reese Atwood in the bottom of the 7th. And they beat Aycock in the 3rd game. J.C. Nichols stands in. First pitch from Aycock, a drop ball that misses low. 2 on, no one out. The Longhorns down 2-1 in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Corners in, middle infield, a step or 2 in from Norma. 1-0. Nichols shows bunt, rolls it off the third base side of the plate. One ball, 1 strike to count. Aycock deals. Nichols rolls it out in front of the plate this time. A good bunt. Picked up by Thompson. Her throw to first is not in time. First hit of the game for Texas comes on a bunt by J.C. Nichols, the freshman, blazing down the line to beat it out. Hannah Wells to third, Vivi Martinez to second. And instead of the slapper, Ashton Maloney with a force everywhere. It's a much easier play for infielders. The Longhorns put in the left-handed batting freshman, Matea Lawson. Lawson, 5 feet 7 inches tall, from Tinley Park, Illinois, Victor J. Andrew High School. 4-star recruit in the 2025 high school class, according to Softball America. 12 for 41 at the plate, a .293 average, double, triple, 2 home runs. Infield in all the way around, outfield at medium depth. First pitch to Lawson. In the dirt, knocked down by Bunker. Skips off to her left, just a couple of feet. So Lawson batting for Maloney. Maloney had a double yesterday, but it was just a pop-up that fell between 3 players, a little Texas leaguer, into left center field. with the infield playing in. It's not one that you expect her to repeat. And Bunker calls time to go and talk with Aycock. Longhorns threatening here in the second. Top of the order, Caden Henry on deck. Lawson has driven in 14 so far. 6 runs scored. One to 0, the pitch. Strike over the outer half. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lawson, very highly touted freshman, has not quite been able to break into this very experienced starting lineup. 1-1. High chop on the right side. George Llamas unable to pick it up. Charging in from first base, and everyone's safe. Wells scores to tie the game at 2. Llamas would have had a tough play trying to get anyone, really. It should go as an infield hit. I think they put an error up on the scoreboard. High chopper. With a forced play at the plate and Wells coming home, it would have been easier to get the out there, but she was still charging as a left-handed thrower with her body kind of facing the third base line rather than directly toward the plate, so she would have had to adjust her angle to throw home. And by the time she got to the ball, Wells was about 2/3 of the way down the line. And on a high chopper, having to charge it and try to make the short hop. That's a tough play. Caden Henry, first pitch swinging, chops it over the circle. It's gloved by Cassie Riesner, who's playing in. She goes back to the bag at second and tags it to retire Ashley Maloney, who came back in for Lawson, but that drives in a run, and Texas leads 3-2.
43, Leanne Good.
So a fielder's choice. Henry gets an RBI. And here's Good. 1 out with runners on the corners for Leanne. Infield still in. Showing bunt briefly. There goes Henry. She speeds up to second base as Bunker fakes the throw. Nichols not biting. And so it's second and third now. Second steal of the game for Henry. Her 18th of the season in 19 tries. Martinez, by the way, scored on that Henry fielder's choice. 1-0, Leanne reaching down to try to bunt it. She misses the pitch. It skips away from Bunker up the third base line, and because of the squeeze, Nichols comes home and scores. Suicide squeeze for Texas. Leanne going all the way to the ground to try to get the bat on it. And it worked out because Bunker couldn't pick it up cleanly. Texas now leads 4-2. Henry on third base. Should be a wild pitch. Ball and a strike. Good. Taps the next pitch foul past Mike White in the third base coach's box. 1-2 now the count. Leanne flied somewhat deep to right her first time. A repeat of that would drive in Henry from third here. 1-2. Ooh, Leanne way upstairs, and somehow she reached up and tomahawk just barely got the bat on. One, 2, the count remains on Leanne Good. The pitch. This time she takes the high offering. Well upstairs. 2-2. Texas a 4-2 lead in the bottom of the second inning. Henry on third, 1 out. Aycock with the 2-2 pitch. Good, drives it left center field. Grisham on the move, looks up, and hits high off the wall. Henry will score easily. Leanne into second with a slide. 5-2 Texas. Sixth double, 19th RBI for Leanne Good on the season. And she continues to have an outstanding senior year. So now Kaya Altmaier, flied out in foul territory in the first. First pitch in the dirt from Aycock, this time smothered by Bunker. 1 ball, no strikes. There's the 1-0. Line drive just past the dive of the second baseman Pickens into right center field. Good motors around third base. She scores. It's a 5-run inning, a 6-2 Texas lead. So Altmaier comes through. 28th run for Leanne, 21st RBI for Kaya. And that looks like it for Kyra Aycock. Coach Jamie Traxel out to talk with Mark Brown. Talking to an assistant of some sort who's walking down toward the bullpen on the right side. Instinct goes and gets the reliever coming in. It's Lily Witten, that aforementioned third most used pitcher on the Ole Miss staff. Texas with a big second inning so far, 6-2 lead. Still just 1 out and a runner on first base as Reese Atwood prepares to step in. Witten will warm up. We'll take a quick break. Texas softball continues in a moment. In the bottom of the second inning, the Texas Longhorns so far have put up an Abraham Lincoln 5 spot, knocking out the starter, Kyra Aycock. 8th hitter of the inning preparing to step in, Reese Atwood, with a runner on first, just 1 out. Atwood put the ball in play to get the first run across in the first inning with a pop-up to shallow center with 2 out. That was dropped by the shortstop. Stepping in for a second time here as the Longhorns have been close to batting around so far. So Lily Witten, the new pitcher, 5'8" junior righty from Tunis, Missouri. Spent 23 and 24 at Missouri. First pitch to Atwood, bounces in the dirt. Smothered by Kennedy Bunker. 1 ball, no strikes. Witten redshirted last year after transferring per SEC rules. The 1-0 upstairs on Reese, 2-0. Witten making her 15th appearance, 9th time out of the bullpen, 5-0 with a 2.39 ERA, 41 innings, 28 hits, 22 walks. She struck out 24. Opponent's batting just 187 against her. The 2-0. Atwood skies it down the right field line. Llamas over into foul territory, looking up and somehow makes the catch and then tumbles to the ground. But a heads-up play by Altmaier. She tags and goes to second. Percy Llamas going back on that ball. Almost having to make an over-the-shoulder catch, but she turned around and just kind of stuck the glove up. And it looked like she was sticking it up just with a prayer, but no, she had a plan and went into the glove. Nice play. Altmaier now on second, 2 out for Katie Stewart. Witten's first pitch changeup is in there for a called strike. Stewart struck out against Aycock in the first. The 0-1. Skips in and right through the legs of Bunker, stayed at the plate area, and hit Mark Brown, the umpire. But Altmaier able to scamper up to third base. Second wild pitch of the inning by Ole Miss pitchers. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stewart bounces it to the right of second base with 3 on the left side of the infield, and it's through for a hit and another run. Altmaier crossing the plate, and the Longhorns have picked up 6 here in the second inning. They lead 7-2. That's the danger of those extreme shifts. The I guess somewhat rare time that the batter does something against why you put the shift in place. You get burned. Stewart ties Atwood for the team lead in RBI with 38. And here's Hannah Wells for the second time in the inning. Wells walked to lead things off. First pitch swinging, fouls it back. A walk to Wells. Viv Martinez took a walk. J.C. Nichols a bunt hit. Taya Lawson reached on what has been ruled an error. Not sure if that will stick. And then Caden Henry with the fielder's choice knocked in another. There's a pitch way up above the head of Wells. Bunker leaping behind Wells to grab it. Stewart, seeing that one maybe going to the backstop, took a step towards second, and then with Bunker gloving it, had to dive back into first ahead of the throw. 1 ball, 1 strike on Wells. The pitch. Pop up to second. Backing up is Pickens. She'll make the catch at the cut of the grass, out number 3. Longhorns pick up 6 to go ahead, and ahead by plenty here in the bottom of the second. 1 stranded. A 7-2 lead for Texas. If you go to the third, Longhorn softball continues in a moment.
We're excited about the kids on the bases of the third of the game today. We need things to come to play with marketing tables on the fourth inning. It's still good spot. Please remember that all vouchers are on the first come, first served basis at the conclusion of tonight's Texas postgame. And exit the stadium to the outfield gate located on the first base side. Big run the bases is presented by Groundworks, the foundation of fair and conference looking experts in Texas. We're excited to offer autographs at the conclusion of the game today. Bring your vouchers from the marketing table on the fourth inning. You're your spot. At the conclusion of the Texas postgame, you may exit the stadium to the outfield gate located on the first base side.
Andrew Haynes at Red and Charlene McCombs Field. Texas Longhorns out to a 7-2 lead over the Ole Miss Rebels. Rebels scored 2 in the first inning after a questionable call went their way. And now the Longhorns, after 1 in the first, 6 in the second. Tegan Kavan back into the circle, and she'll face Percy Yamas, Maddie George, and Cassie Reesner. Yamas opened that 2-run rally in the first with 2 out and the bases empty. Low line drive between the first baseman and second baseman and past Ashton Maloney in right field. First pitch from Kavan misses high. Longhorns remain in the same alignment with the Maloney a couple steps toward right center rather than straightaway right. That's when Yamas was at the plate in the first. 1-0, fouled back. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Mentioning with the shift against Stewart in the bottom of the second and her singling to the right side of second base. Going into that shift sometimes burns you, and that's kind of the same thing in the first inning with Yamas at the plate. The Longhorns in the shift, not expecting her to pull it sharply. Kavan misses low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tegan to the plate, fouled back. Now 2-2. Yamas, the 5'6" sophomore out of Eastvale, California. As a freshman last year, second team All SEC. And second team All Region. Two balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a foul back. Hits off the window just about 10 feet to our right. Very impressive lack of a flinch by a couple of Longhorn staffers sitting right behind the window. A lot of people will flinch even though they're protected by that window or netting or something along those lines. Chop up the middle by Yamas. Grab behind the bag at second. Vivi Martinez with time. She lobs it over to first, and that's out number 1. So Maddie George now the hitter. George took a walk her first time up. Big cut and a miss. On the first Kavan offering, 0-1. George scored the second run for the Rebels after Taylor Roman took the bases loaded 2-out walk. 7-2 Texas in the top of the third. 1 out, bases empty. And tied on George. Count now 1-1. Tegan, 1-1 pitch. Swinging a foul tip. That's the count to 1-2.
You work, Patty, let's go!
Kavan, the 1-2 offering. Popped up left side. Nichols a long run toward the dugout. Leaps up and makes the catch. JC Nichols playing off the line. Leaping up to grab it as she was approaching the dugout fence. Might have been able to catch that without leaping, but she made sure to leap just in case it came close to hitting the fence above where she would bring it down. Now a pop-up from Cassie Reesner, and it's Nichols again, this time much easier, grabbing it just outside the circle near the third base line. A 1-2-3 inning again for Kavan. Texas leads 7-2 as we go to the bottom of the third. Longhorn softball continues in a moment. 7-2 over the Ole Miss Rebels. Texas, after 3 batters, faced right-hander Lily Witten. Now, send the bottom third of the order against Witten. Starter Kyra Aycock went 1 and 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 7 runs, 4 earned. She walked 3 with 1 strikeout. Vivi Martinez leads off. His first pitch up and away, ball 1. Martinez took a walk as part of that second inning. Left-handed batter. Off the fist, skies it down the left field line. Going back, or coming in rather, Grisham, with a couple infielders going back. Grisham stopped and shaded her eyes against the sun briefly. Was able to make the grab. So Martinez retired, and here's J.C. Nichols. Nichols, nice defensive play in the top half of this inning. Had the first hit of the game for Texas with a bunt. Last inning, she lays down another one and beats it out again. The on-rushing third baseman Grace Thompson this time picked it up further away from the plate than last inning, but Thompson was starting further back. Off-balance throw, not in time. Nichols 2 for 2. And here's Ashton Maloney for the first time. Corners in, 1 out, 1 on. Maloney shows bunt and pulls it back as the pitch misses way up and away. Maloney, when her spot came up in the order in the second, the Longhorns had the bases loaded. No one out, so Mike White put in Matea Lawson. 1-0. Pitch over the outside corner. Nichols diving into second on a stolen base attempt as the ball skips into center field. 8 steal and 9 tries for Nichols. 1-1 now on Maloney. It was Lawson who hit the high chop on the infield, on which the Longhorns scored their first run. One and one, now runner in scoring position with 1 out. Up and away on Maloney, ball 2. This pitcher, Lily Witten, pitched twice in the SEC opening series for the Rebels last weekend at home against Alabama. There's a bunt by Maloney, no shot they're going to get her there. Bunker, the catcher, out to grab it, fakes the throw to first. Nichols staying put on third base. 2 straight bunt hits, first and third for Texas, as Caden Henry steps in. So Caden, a walk and a fielder's choice, 2 runs scored, 2 steals. Knocked in a run on the fielder's choice last time. There goes Maloney on the first pitch that misses low and away. Bunker, no throw. Just a fake. 5th steal and 5 tries for Ashton. It's now second and third. 1-0 on Henry. Witten to the plate. High for ball 2. Henry last time up, a chopper over the circle. With the infield in, runner on third, less than 2 out. Reisner went to her left, gloved it, and got to second to force out Maloney, but a run scored. 7-2 Texas in the bottom of the third. Henry takes down the middle for a called strike. Two and 1. Longhorns looking to add to their lead here in the bottom of the third inning. Witten to the plate. Just a bit wide. The count 3-1 on Caden Henry. Pitch. Swinging a drive left field. Grisham was in. She won't get to it. It bangs off the wall. Henry hustling towards second. Nichols scores. Henry scores. 9-2 Texas. Two-run double, Caden Henry. Her 11th two-bagger of the season, leading the team by plenty, in fact. 3 RBI now in the game, has 29 in that category. And Nancy Evans goes to talk with Lily Witten. The Longhorns starting to open it up. Lead by 7 runs here in the bottom of the third. Mentioned Witten had pitched twice in the series against Alabama. Ole Miss hosted Crimson Tide last weekend to open SEC play. Played 2 games on Friday and then finished the series on Sunday. 5-3 loss to start the series on Friday for Ole Miss, and a 13-2 loss in 6 innings before a 2-1 loss on Sunday. Witten pitched in both games on Friday. The first game, 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, walked 3, struck out 1. In the second game, an inning and third, 6 hits, 6 runs. She did not factor in the decision in either game. At this point, she will not factor in the decision here, as the Longhorns took the lead when Aycock was in the game. Unless Ole Miss makes a huge comeback. 9-2 Texas, 1 out, runner on second for Leanne Good. First pitch high. Good hit one off the wall last time. A double driving in Ashton, who was it? It was Caden Henry, in fact. As Henry had reached on the fielder's choice, then stolen second, and went to third on a wild pitch. 1-0. Called strike 1. Leanne was turning out of the box as the off-speed pitch found the outside corner. Good, in fact, when she stepped up in the second, called upon for a squeeze bunt. Pitch was in the dirt, she missed it, but the catcher missed it too, and J.C. Nichols scored. Off speed from Witten, misses up and in, and now it's 2-1. Infield back, the outfield a step deeper than normal, shaded toward left. Good, drives it right field. Maddie George back, looks up, it hits off the wall. Leanne hustling towards second. George fires in just late, and Leanne has her second double in as many innings. Henry, waiting to make sure that wouldn't be caught, only gets to third. Throw into the second. Longhorns, maybe if they had seen that, might have sent Henry, but I assume Mike White saw it come back quickly to George and just put on the brakes. Especially with Altmaier, Atwood, Stewart coming up, and there will be a new pitcher. Yesterday's starter, Emily Boyer, entering the game for Ole Miss. Second and third, just 1 out for the Longhorns here in the third. They've scored twice and lead 9-2. And we'll take a break as Boyer warms up. Texas softball continues in a moment. First pitch from the new pitcher, Emily Boyer, misses low and away to Kaya Altmaier. 1-0, pulled down to first by Altmaier, gloved by the first baseman Llamas, and she takes it to the bag herself. But that knocks in a run, and it's 10-2 Texas here in the third. Henry across the plate, Altmaier's second RBI of the game. And good up to third as Reese Atwood steps in. Reese had a lot of success against Boyer yesterday. Let's see if she can do the same here. 2-out runner on third. Boyer, first pitch changeup is low. Emily Boyer, 6'1" senior from Harrisburg, South Dakota. Last year's Division II National Player of the Year at West Texas A&M. 1-0. Catches the outside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike. 3 runs in the inning, a 10-2 Texas lead. Boyer, the 1-1. Speed, a lot of soft stuff here against Atwood. Misses low. Reese 0 for 2. A pop-up in the first inning with 2 out, and Kaden Henry on second base was dropped in center field. That scored Henry. And then Reese popped out in the second as the first batter against Lulu Whitten. 2-1. Low and away, ball 3. Katie Stewart on deck. The Longhorns leading 10-2 in the bottom of the third. Here's 3-1 in the dirt, and Reese takes the walk. So runners on the corners, 2 out for Katie Stewart. Stewart struck out in the first, and then singled with 2 out in the second inning. With Ole Miss in a shift with 3 players on the left side of second base. Jamie Traxel talking to the plate umpire Mark Brown, and now goes out to her pitcher and the entire infield. Stewart preparing to hit. Yesterday went 1 for 2. Took a couple of walks. Boyer yesterday in the start pitched 3 innings, allowed 9 hits, 7 runs, all earned. She walked 2, struck out 3. Stewart had an RBI single to knock in the first run for Texas in the second against Boyer, and struck out against her in the third. Two out, runners on the corners. First pitch to Stewart, which is down, lifts it down the right field line, out of play. Nice barehand grab by a gentleman standing up and reaching up. Strike 1 on Stewart. And Wells on deck. Tegan Gavon in the bullpen, staying warm as Stewart, late on the next pitch, chops it foul in front of the first base dugout. The count 0-2. Another long inning for the Longhorns. Boyer. Head 0-2. The pitch. This is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Katie Stewart. Boyer, after yesterday, now 5-6 with a 2.66 ERA. This is her 14th appearance, 3rd time out of the bullpen. 65 2/3 innings, 55 hits, 24 walks, 59 Ks. 1-2. Misses outside. The take by Stewart. The count evened up 2-2. Reese on first base has a steal in 2 tries. With 2 out. Unlikely to see her go. 2-2 pitch, foul back. 2-2, 2 out, 2 on. 10-2 lead for Texas in the bottom of the third inning. The pitch. Hot shot on the ground right side and through. Atwood puts on the brakes at second. Scoring is Leanne Good, and Stewart another opposite way RBI single. It's 11-2 Texas. Four in the inning now for the Longhorns. After 6 in the second. Hannah Wells, a walk and a pop out. First pitch over but low from Boyer. Wells walked to start the 6-run second and then popped out to end the inning. Next pitch in the dirt inside. Pulls the foot out of the way to avoid being hit. It's 2-0. Atwood and Stewart on the bases for Texas. Wells the back edge of the box. Here's the 2-0. In the dirt. 3 balls, no strikes. Wells came into the game having walked just 4 times this season. One more ball, it'll be your second of the game. 3-0. Yanked foul, Mike White jumping out of the way. Fans booing and eyeing. He just got missed by that one. Playful jump, and he spread the legs to let the ball go between his legs. It's an applause from the fans. 3 balls and a strike. The pitch outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Two out, bases loaded. And for the second straight inning, the Longhorns have batted around. Vivi Martinez now the hitter. She led off the inning with a fly out shallow down the left field line. 11-2 Texas. Boyer's first pitch low, ball 1. Martinez flied out. Nichols and Maloney bunt hits. Henry a double high off the wall and left. Leanne Good a double low off the wall in right center. 1-0. Check swing. It's called a strike on Martinez. The knees on the outside. Ole Miss went to their bullpen. Altmaier a run scoring ground out. Atwood a walk. Stewart RBI single. Now Wells the walk to load him up. Ball in the strike. Pulled through the right side by Martinez. Atwood scores. Stewart motoring around third. She scores. The throw goes home, and both the other runners advance. It's 13-2 Texas. A second straight 6-run frame, and their second and third 2 out. The Longhorns still in business. Instead of J.C. Nichols, it's Taylor Anderson getting a chance to hit. 2 RBI for Martinez, give her 18 on the season. No error on the plate, just advancing on the throw. So Anderson, the sophomore out of Dripping Springs, takes the first pitch strike on the outside corner. Started her career at Oklahoma State in 2024. 4 for 16 at the plate for the Cowgirls. Did not play last year. 0-1. Further away from Boyer here. 1 ball, 1 strike. Anderson 2 for 7. No extra base hits so far for Texas this season. Mainly used as a pinch runner, defensive replacement. 4 runs scored. Second and third 2 out, the 1-1. just above the 5'4" left-handed batter's zone. And it's now 2-1. Field in against the slapper. The outfield a bit shallower than normal, pulled way over toward left. 2-1 pitch. High chop to the right side, and that skips through the infield. Wells, Martinez, 15-2 Texas.
Line to number 7, Ashton Maloney.
5 runs have come with 2 out. It's a 6 because 1 run came on the play on which the second out was recorded. The Longhorns have scored 8 in the inning. Maloney running up to slap it, offered according to Mark Brett. No balls and a strike on Maloney. A bunt hit earlier in the inning for only at bat so far of the game. Swing and a foul tip held by Bunker at the count 0-2. Anderson on first, very fast. 3 of 4 stolen bases. At this point, I don't think you'll see her go, the 0-2. Maloney reaches out, lifts it down the left field line, foul territory. It's back into the Longhorns bullpen, out of play. Anderson's 2 RBI, by the way. Give her 3 on the season. She entered with 1 run batted in. Another 0-2. Swing and a miss by Maloney to end the inning. But the Longhorns send 12 to the plate, score 8 runs, and leave 1 on the bases. Texas with a 15-2 lead as we go to the 4th. Longhorn softball continues in a moment. Tuning in, you've missed quite a bit. Ole Miss has 2 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors. Texas, 15 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Tegan Cavan, after a 2nd straight inning of a long time waiting for the offense to do its work, back in the circle. Cavan will face the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for Ole Miss. Kennedy Bunker, Taylor Roman, and Grace Thompson. Longhorns got 8 runs on 7 hits in the 4th. One in the first, 6 in the second, 8 in the 3rd. 3rd inning, not 4th, of course. Now it is the 4th inning. And Cavan toes the rubber. First pitch. The outer half for a called strike 1 on Kennedy Bunker. Bunker knocked in the first run in the 1st for Ole Miss. Right after the missed call at third base. Nichols apparently catching the ball out of the air, but called that hit the ground, not overturned. That loaded the bases with 2 out. Bunker swinging a miss here. Bunker fell behind 0-2. Cavan had a chance to put her away without anything scoring, but left one over the plate, and Bunker poked it up the middle to knock in a run. 0-2 from Teagan. High pop-up on the infield. Good calling off Martinez. Stumbling in a little bit. And she makes the grab between the circle and the second base bag. So this time, Kavan gets bunker, and that's out for 1.
Designated player number 23, Taylor Roman.
So now Taylor Roman, who took a walk to force in the second run back in the first. Infield back, outfield straight up, medium depth. First pitch to Roman, in tight, ball 1. Roman in the first inning went to a 1-1 count, and then Kavan threw a pitch that looked pretty good. It looked like one that had been called a strike already in the inning. It was called a ball. Ended up walking Roman as she misses low and in here. 2 balls, no strikes. Roman yesterday hit a blast off of a second-story window into grad student housing across the street from left field. 6'1" tall right-handed batter, very imposing figure as she takes inside ball 3. Plan must be to pitch her in. Kavan missing the zone and Roman not chasing. On the left side of the infield for Texas. Right across the middle, called strike 1. His dad, Mark, former NFL player, ran track at LSU. Played for Louisiana from 2020 to 23, did not play in 24 for the Raging Cajuns. Second year here with Ole Miss. Called strike 2. On the inside corner, maybe just off. Kavan finally gets that spot. Three and 2. The payoff pitch. Check swing, she went. Strike 3. Only the third strikeout of the game for Kavan after striking out 12 in 7 innings on Friday. And now Grace Thompson, the hitter. Thompson was one of the strikeout victims. Went down looking to end the first with the bases loaded. First pitch, chopper to first base behind the bag, Katie Stewart. She collects it and hustles to the bag for out number 3. A third straight 3-batter inning for Kavan. Second straight with a 1-2-3. Longhorns lead 15-2 going to the bottom of the 4th. Texas softball continues in a moment.
Back to ball number 4 for Texas. That's inning number 4. And Taylor Roberts.
1 on Wallace. Slap hitter when she gets to bat. The 0-1 pitch, swinging a foul back. Took a full cut at that one. Just over us on the roof of the press box. And now rolls back down, bouncing through the stands. 0-2 on Wallace. The pitch. Ground ball left side, past the dive of Riesner, and Wallace has her first hit of the year. So Adea on first base, very good speed. Also has not stolen a base this year. With a 15-2 lead, I don't know if we'll see her try to do that. Katie Bennett, pinch hitting for Leanne Good. First pitch misses high. Bennett hitting .267 in 15 at-bats. She started a couple of games. 1 double, 4 RBI, 8 runs scored. Also has been used as a pinch hitter quite a bit. 1-0. Upstairs again, 2 balls, no strikes. Bottom of the 4th inning. Texas with a couple of huge crooked numbers. After 1 in the first, 6 in the second, 8 in the third, 15-2 lead. Boyer flips it down the middle. Called strike 1. Longhorns in pretty good position for a run rule victory after the top of the 5th. This pitch misses low and in, ball 3. If Texas doesn't score here, Ole Miss needs, my quick math is correct, 6 runs to keep it going in the 5th. Low, ball 4, and Bennett takes the walk. Two on, no one out, and here's Vic Hunter, pinch hitting for Kaya Altmaier. Longhorns last year would have had maybe 2 or 3 pinch hitters total in the game. That would have been the limit of their depth. This year much deeper, many more players on the bench who can swing the bat. First pitch in the dirt from Boyer. Ball 1 on Hunter. Right-handed batting junior, square stance. High chop over the middle, gloved by the second baseman Pickens, and she reaches back while slipping past the bag and tags it with her glove. Unlucky for Hunter. Almost had an infield hit and almost, honestly, got through into center field. It's a fielder's choice on a nice play by Pickens. Bennett retired at second base. Up to third goes Wallace. And here's Kagan Crabtree batting for Reese Allen. First freshman of the pinch hitting bunch in this game getting a shot. First and third, 1 out. Crabtree, the 5'11 freshman from Melissa, Texas, offered on the first pitch down low, 0-1. Crabtree is 2 for 9, has a home run, 3 RBI. The 0-1. Swinging a high fly ball lifted down the left field line. Well back out of play on top of the Player Development Center, 0-2. Kagan at the back edge of the box, leaning over. 0-2 pitch, bounced down to third. Up with it, the third baseman, Starr, who tags Wallace, straying too far off the bag, throws across, not in time. Third base umpire Frederick Ewald right on top of that. Wallace wasn't really getting ready to go home. He just took an extra step off the bat. I don't know. don't know if they actually got it. Looking at the replay on the big screen, I think she might have gotten her foot in unless the foot didn't actually reach the bag before she was tagged. But it's out number 2. Longhorns up 15-2, aren't going to bother challenging that. Hunter went to second, by the way. Another pinch hitter, it's Alyssa Sneed. Sneed hitting for Katie Stewart. 5'4" freshman from Conroe, Texas. Conroe High School takes low for ball 2. 9 for 25 at the plate in 17 games for Sneed. 3 doubles and a homer, 7 RBI. Hunter and Crabtree, the runners for Texas. Off the inside from Boyer, runs the count to 3-0. Two out, 3-0 pitch. Sneed hits it off for instep. It shoots right back to the pitcher Boyer, but the plate umpire Brown right on top of it, calling dead ball. That one pretty clearly redirected off the bat. It's not heading straight out to the pitcher. The count 3-1 on Sneed. Boyer seemed like she was starting her windup, then she stepped off. The catcher Connors has to go over the dugout and switch out her play calling wristband, pitch calling wristband. It's using wristbands rather than the watches that digitally send the pitch across. Here's the 3-1. Fouled back by Sneed, 3-2. Three and two out. The runners will be on the move here. Boyer's payoff pitch. Sneed pulls it foul past third base.
Fight, 9, fight!
This is Sneed. According to Softball America, the class of 2025, the top recruit in the state of Texas. Number 22 in the country. Two-time Premier Girls Fast Pitch Travel Ball All-American. Reaches out, hits the next one just foul, wide of third base. Starr, very good defender, sliding across the line there, knocking it down. It was a foul ball. 15-2 Texas in the bottom of the 4th inning. 3 and 2 out. The pitch, another spoiled foul. Side pitch pulled over toward the Longhorns dugout. Hitting the facing of the dugout, shooting down the left field line. Looks like it's Renly Gonzalez in the bullpen warming up for Texas. We'll probably see her for the 5th. 3-2 again, this time in the dirt, and Sneed works the walk. 9th pitch of the bat.
Designated player number 13, Hannah Wells.
So the bases are loaded with 2 out. 3rd walk of the season for Sneed. And here's Hannah Wells. Wells has drawn 2 walks, including against Boyer in the 3rd. Soaring fly ball to center here in the park. Malvin backing up short of the warning track. She stops, puts it away, and that ends the inning. The Longhorns send 6 to the plate, do not score here in the 4th inning. We go to the 5th, Texas up 15-2. Longhorn softball continues in a moment.
Attention Longhorn fans interested in furthering your support of Texas student athletes, consider joining the Longhorn Foundation, which fuels champions and leaves a lasting impact in the lives of over 500 Texas student athletes. Scan the QR code.
15 highlights? Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's not do all of them. Let me take a look and see what I want.
March 20th at 6:30 p.m. when we take on Baylor.
comment right before the end of the bottom of the fourth, we'd probably see Brentley Gonzalez for the fifth. Well, not the start of the inning. See Kavon back out in the circle. Looks like they're going to see if she can close it out. After allowing 2 runs in the first inning, Kavon has faced the minimum. 15-2 Texas lead. She allowed a 1-out hit in the second. Immediately induced a double play. 1-2-3 went the Rebels in the third and the fourth. Tenley Grisham leading things off for Ole Miss. Taylor Malvin, Mackenzie Pickens also due up. No, sorry, it's not Grisham, it is Emily Boyer. The right-handed batter, Boyer, has pitched the last couple of innings. Now at the plate, top player in Division II softball last year. Pitcher and a hitter. She takes the first pitch inside from Kavon. Low ball 2. Boyer this year has not stepped to the plate very often. 0 for 6 in total. A couple of those coming yesterday. 2-0. Soft line drive over and good into right center field. Boyer has a single to lead off here in the 5th inning. Boyer last year hit .467, 11 doubles, 22 home runs at West Texas A&M. Rebels sending a couple of changes out. Longhorns defensively, by the way, put in all the players who were pinch hit for. They re-entered them all, so it's the first string defense out there. The pinch runner on first, Cassidy Patterson. Transfer from Division II Nova Southeastern. And at the plate now, Ali Gutierrez's high school teammate, Ilana Apple. Chopper over the circle. It's picked up by Vivi Martinez as she collides with J.C. Nichols. Martinez gets a throw away, but it's late to first base. And an infield hit puts 2 on with no one out. A little miscommunication there between Martinez and Nichols. Both going for it. Martinez got to it first. Even with Nichols kind of taking her legs out, causing her to stumble, Martinez got a solid throw away, which is late. First pitch to Mackenzie Pickens is a strike. 15-2 Texas here in the 5th. Pickens a slow roller towards short. Martinez gloves, throws. That's not in time. 2 straight infield hits for the Rebels. Unfortunate for the Longhorns. The bases are loaded with no one out.
Texas is challenging the ruling of the field of a safe at first base. That play is under further review.
So there's a challenge there at first. Looking live, it did not appear they got it. Let's see what the SEC Replay Center in Birmingham comes up with. Looks like we have our answer.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. That's a runner safe. That's Texas' second challenge.
So it is confirmed. Ole Miss threatening here in the 5th inning. Down 13. Mercy Yamas, the left-handed batter, will be the hitter. She doubled back in the first, grounded out in the 3rd. Infield back for Texas with a big lead. They'll allow a run to score. So get a ground ball in the infield. And a potential double play. Llamas fouls the first pitch back, 0-1. Misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Llamas coming into today 402 average. 7 walks, 7 strikeouts. Not wait around too much. The 1-1 pokes it out. Foul down the left field line. Into the netting. The count now 1-2. In the first inning, the first pitch she saw, she pulled through the right side. Hit it hard enough to get to the wall for a double. She did work the count a little bit in the third. 1-2 offering. Going away 2-2. Maddie George on deck. Going out, bases loaded for Ole Miss here in the 5th. Kavon's 2-2 pitch. Lifted to left. Altmaier backing up a couple of steps, makes the grab, fires in toward third. It's cut off by Vivi Martinez. Patterson scores, and Ole Miss adds a run. 15-3 now, the Longhorns lead. Kavon gets it out on a sac fly.
32, Maddie George.
Applin and Pickens stayed put. Now it's Maddie George. Walked in the first inning. Popped out in the third on a very nice play by J.C. Nichols, leaping to grab it before crashing into the fence in front of the dugout. First pitch, a drop ball in there for a strike on George. First and second, 1 down. Lonzo 1. Over but low. Longhorns going into their SEC bye week this next week. 2 games against Baylor is all they'll have this week. March 20th and 21st, Friday, Saturday. The 1-1 pitch. Pop fly right center field, that's dangerous. Hustling over, Ashton Maloney had it in her glove. Now she drops it. Throw into second is just late, and Martinez turns to throw to third with the runner Applin getting a late break, and that is just late. Man, Longhorns can't catch a break here in the 5th inning. Not plenty during the game, obviously, but a couple of infield hits, a bloop that Maloney had in the glove and just couldn't hang on. Nothing, no run scores on that. George gets a base hit. Pickens to second, Applin up to third. The runners had to hold because Maloney went to that dive, the ball into her glove at first, and then as she fell down, she kind of, I think, blocked the ball on the ground. So the runners looking out couldn't tell if it was in her glove or behind her. So because of that, the Longhorns almost had a force play. It's going to be Izzy Rediger pitch running on first base for Maddie George. Cassie Reisner now the hitter. First pitch swinging, lifts it back out of play. Oh, 0-1 on Reisner, who reached in that first inning on the disputed call that J.C. Nichols thought she caught above the ground. The umpires saw it differently or didn't see it at all, and the replay center said the call stood. The 0-1. Inside from Kavon. 1 ball, 1 strike. 15-3, Texas lead. Bases loaded. 1 out in the top of the 5th. Reisner popped out in the third. 1-1. Pulled sharply foul, wide of third. The count, a ball and 2 strikes. Line drive base hit started the inning from Emily Boyer. Infield hits by Leilana Applin and Mackenzie Pickens. Sac fly and then the bloop single in out of the glove of the diving Maloney. 1-2. Popped up On the infield fly the call as Martinez right next to the bag at second, puts it away, out number 2. Jokingly reached out to tag Pickens, stuck her hand out and just kind of laughed, the two of them.
34, Rachel Connors.
2 down now for Rachel Connors. Came in to play defense in the bottom of the 4th for the starter behind the plate, Kennedy Bunker. Vaughn's first pitch to Connors, outside, ball 1. Taylor Roman on deck. 1-0. Fouled at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike on Connors. Hitting .292 in 24 at bats, has a double. 6 runs batted in. Bases loaded, 2 out. Longhorns need 1 out for the run rule victory. Here's the 1-1. Over but low, ball 2. Teagan gets the call. The black, the letters, just below the letters. And the count 2-2 on Connors out of Chandler, Arizona. 5'10" left-handed batter. Fans to their feet. 2-2 pitch. Fly ball left field. Altmaier hustling over toward the line, shading her eyes, makes the catch, and that's the ball game. The Longhorns blow out the Rebels 15-3 in 5 innings. As Ole Miss picks up 1 here in the 5th inning. Vaughn allows 1 run in the 5th, a little unlucky. Strands everyone else, and Texas with a 2nd straight run rule victory over Ole Miss. The Longhorns now 26-1 on the season and 6-0 in SEC play, should be in line to number 1 in the national polls come Monday and Tuesday. The teams ahead of them losing so far this weekend, at least once each. Ole Miss falls to 19-11. They're now 0-6 in the SEC. So the Longhorns, a big win. We'll come back with a post-game show. Texas softball continues in a moment.